Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins with a black car being chased by police. Inside is a clever and dangerous robber, Diabolik. He escapes most of the police, but is still pursued by an inspector, Ginkgo, and two officers. After a tunnel, Diabolik's car splits in half, and the front part disappears. Ginkgo recognizes Diabolik as the hardest criminal to catch. Months later, government officials gather at an event, where a beautiful woman, Eva Kant, is warmly welcomed. They talk about Diabolik, who is notorious for his crimes. After the event, Ginkgo approaches Eva, who has just arrived from South Africa, with a valuable red diamond. He warns her that Diabolik might try to steal it, and offers to protect her, using her as bait to catch Diabolik. At her hotel, the staff discuss her new bodyguard, Roberto. Diabolik, having wiretapped their conversation, kills Roberto, and disguises himself as him. The next day, Diabolik, posing as Roberto, begins his job as Eva's bodyguard. When she enters her room, he prepares her bath, and notices she is called by Giorgio, her wealthy fiancé. Meanwhile, a woman named Elizabeth is upset, because her husband, secretly Diabolik, keeps leaving her. Eva meets Giorgio, who annoys her, while Diabolik breaks into her safe, but finds only a fake red diamond. Eva isn't surprised, and reveals she sold the real diamond. She almost kisses Diabolik, who leaves with the fake diamond. Back at his hideout, he confirms the diamond is fake, and wonders who Eva really is. At night, Elizabeth sees Diabolik coming from an underground hideout in their yard. Curious, she investigates the next day, and finds Diabolik's secret room, filled with disguises and equipment. Shocked, she calls the police. Meanwhile, in Eva's hotel room, she receives breakfast from Diabolik, disguised as Roberto, revealing a red diamond ring. She realizes Roberto is Diabolik, and signals him. He removes his mask, and she falls in love with him. She asks him to get rid of Giorgio, her controlling fiancé. Elizabeth, after discovering Diabolik's secret, calls Inspector Ginkgo. The police head to her house, as Diabolik prepares to help Eva deal with Giorgio. Meanwhile, Giorgio, fearing his fiancée might leave, calls the hotel manager to check on her. The manager searches for Roberto, Diabolik in disguise, who has been missing for an hour. The manager goes to the room, and knocks on the door. Eva quickly asks Diabolik to hide in the closet. When the manager enters, he asks to search the room, and she allows it, cleverly directing him to start in the bathroom, to give Diabolik time to escape. Inspector Ginkgo, having entered Diabolik's hideout, finds face masks and other evidence. He orders his officers to be on high alert. Diabolik, meanwhile, heads to another secret base nearby. There, he retrieves a box containing information about Giorgio, including his involvement in the government. He makes a mask of Giorgio's face, and prepares to return home, where Ginkgo and his men are waiting. Diabolik enters his base, but Ginkgo ambushes him. Despite his tricks, he is eventually captured by another officer. Elizabeth, stunned, watches as her husband is arrested. The next day, Eva waits for Diabolik at a restaurant, to discuss their next move, but is shocked to read about his arrest in the newspaper. At his trial, Eva, disguised with a hat, uses Morse code to communicate with him. He instructs her to go to his secret base, and retrieve 2 tubes of strange liquids, and some cash. After his execution is announced, she visits Giorgio. To prove his love, Giorgio agrees to take Eva to see Diabolik, before his execution. At night, Eva and Giorgio visit the prison. Her and Diabolik's plan unfolds smoothly. Diabolik remains expressionless during the trial and execution. When the guillotine falls, it is revealed that Giorgio, wearing Diabolik's face mask, was beheaded, while Diabolik, disguised as Giorgio, escapes. They had planned to control Giorgio using the injected liquids, extracting information about his secret vault, filled with treasures. After switching faces, Diabolik leaves the prison. Ginkgo, realizing the deception, continues his pursuit. Diabolik, now in Giorgio's office, retrieves confidential documents and the vault key. Ginkgo, having contacted Giorgio's secretary, arrives at the office. Unaware, the secretary goes to the office, but Diabolik is already gone. Eva waits for him downstairs. He knows Ginkgo is on his trail, but plans to rob Giorgio's diamonds anyway. Ginkgo and the police search the office, and find hidden documents about government officials. Ginkgo devises a new strategy to catch the thief. Elsewhere, a woman arrives at a bank, to store an expensive painting in the vault. The vault has a sophisticated security system, a hollow iron part, that triggers the alarm if touched, and a lock requiring 2 keys, one from the bank, and one from the owner, which must be used simultaneously. The manager alone can open the vault door, adding another layer of security. At the police station, Inspector Ginko shares confidential files with a government official and a colleague, in exchange for help. He and his team discover that Diabolik might rob a bank in another city, as the vault key has been stolen. Eva, disguised, visits the bank to gather information about its security system. She informs Diabolik about the vault's intricate security measures and operating hours. As the bank closes at 5 p.m., a hidden device activates a laser to break into the safe. Diabolik takes over, crafting tools to bypass the vault's defenses. He plans to enter through a manhole, disable the alarm, and flood the vault to disrupt the security camera system. Elsewhere, Giorgio's secretary returns to retrieve hidden files, but is caught by the police. Under pressure, she reveals the vault key is missing, so Ginko formulates a secret plan to catch Diabolik. Diabolik begins his heist alone, instructing Eva to stay home. At the bank, a broken water pipe triggers the alarm, summoning the manager and fire department. Amidst the confusion, Diabolik continues his operation undetected. Ginko and his men arrive, sealing off the bank's exits. They plan to ambush Diabolik when he emerges from the underground aqueduct. Impatient, Eva decides to help clear Diabolik's escape route, who successfully steals Giorgio's valuables, and heads out. Eva's efforts clear his path, but Ginko confronts and shoots him. As they struggle, Eva appears, injuring Ginko, to buy time for their escape. Later, they sail away, and Diabolik presents Eva with her red diamond ring, but she throws it into the ocean, valuing him over the gem. Time passes, and Diabolik targets the Armand crown, in a heavily guarded building. Disabling the lone guard with a knife, he set off the alarm. Guards, delayed by a blocked keyhole, arrive too late. Diabolik escapes with the crown using a paraglider, leaving the guards to watch helplessly, as he flies away. He safely rendezvous with Eva, escaping to their hideout. Meanwhile, at an extravagant event attended by aristocrats and the bourgeoisie, dancers showcase the Armand jewel. The police, wary of Diabolik's potential theft, guard the venue. During the dance, the lights suddenly go out, and Diabolik, disguised as a police officer, incapacitates the guards. He abducts the dancers, leaving them stranded. Seeking help, the dancers arrive at a bar, where an undercover informant contacts Inspector Ginko. She reveals Diabolik took the bait. Unbeknownst to them, the entire event was orchestrated by Ginko to ensnare Diabolik. The Armand jewel had been coated with a traceable liquid. Ginko and his team, equipped with tracking devices, pursue Diabolik. Elsewhere, Diabolik and Eva admire their spoils. However, their moment is interrupted by camera footage showing the police sabotaging their escape route. They debate whether to flee, or salvage Diabolik's loot. After escaping through a secret evacuation tunnel to a forest, he abruptly leaves her to fend for herself against Ginko and the pursuing officers. Desperate to evade capture, she leaps off a cliff into a river. Ginko sees potential in Eva as a witness, hoping she'll testify against Diabolik. He explores Diabolik's hideout, discovering a trove of stolen treasures, including rare paintings, gold, and jewelry. After unearthing a blueprint for another location, he hastens to investigate. At the new site, an officer stumbles upon a hidden path, leading to Diabolik's mask-making workshop. Ginko strategizes to lay an ambush for Diabolik. Elsewhere, noblewoman Altea arrives at an airport, adorned with a stunning piece of jewelry, for a city meeting. Surprised by Ginko's absence, she seeks him out at the police station, revealing their romantic involvement. Altea implores him to propose, but he prioritizes capturing Diabolik, promising to consider marriage once his mission is complete. At night, Ginko's plan to ambush Diabolik at his hideout is set into motion. As expected, he arrives and attempts to eavesdrop on conversations within the hideout, using his gadgets. Meanwhile, the guard shift changes, leaving Agent Roller alone and vulnerable. Seizing the opportunity, Diabolik appears at the door, and engages in a confrontation with Roller. Despite Roller's gunfire, Diabolik's clever use of mirrors deceives the guard, allowing him to incapacitate Roller, and abscond with the mask printing machine. Responding officers find Roller unconscious, and the machine missing, leaving Ginko frustrated by the missed opportunity. Facing pressure from the minister, Ginko negotiates with Eva's captors to secure her cooperation in locating Diabolik's hideout, in exchange for her freedom. However, he harbors doubts about her intentions, and secretly tracks her location. When they close in, she manages a daring escape through a nearby manhole, evading capture once again. At Diabolik's hideout, Sergeant Elena leads a police examination of the stolen loot, only to discover that Armin's collection bracelet is missing. Ginko suspects Eva of the theft, and orders his men to track her down, using the bracelet as a beacon. Their suspicions are confirmed. Sergeant Palmer and Agent Roller pursue Eva, but she outmatches Roller in combat, escaping their grasp. Roller, however, manages to retrieve the bracelet, adding to Ginko's dilemma, as Eva's use of the bracelet facilitates her capture. Meanwhile, Ginko faces criticism from the minister for complicating the mission. Faced with the threat of dismissal, he reluctantly agrees to collaborate with Eva to apprehend Diabolik. To signal Eva's pardon, he arranges a meeting where they discuss their plan. She reveals her intent to provoke Diabolik by orchestrating the extraction of his stolen goods, anticipating his reaction to reclaim his loot. Ginko devises a plan to bait Diabolik, using an armored decoy vehicle to lure him, while the genuine treasure is transported in an inconspicuous van. As rumors of the extraction circulate, Ginko anticipates Diabolik's awareness. Meanwhile, Altea, still eager for Ginko's proposal, prepares for an event, securing her rare necklace. As Ginko's operation commences, special forces prepare for the mission, with Roller volunteering to drive the van, despite apprehensions about confronting Diabolik. Elena covertly infiltrates the van, unbeknownst to Roller. The armored van and Roller's van set out, each taking different routes. As they enter a tunnel, they encounter a gate, and are engulfed in paralyzing gas, causing the special forces to feign unconsciousness. Subsequently, they apprehend a mysterious figure emerging from the tunnel, only to discover it as a decoy. In another location, Altea discovers her missing necklace, realizing it had been stolen. Meanwhile, Roller, supposedly transporting the loot, arrives in the forest, where Eva awaits, holding Altea's necklace. However, it is revealed the driver was Diabolik in disguise, using a meticulously crafted mask. The truth unfolds, Diabolik had orchestrated the entire scheme. Just before departing from their base, he pretended to leave Eva behind, while she actually escaped through an underwater crevice. As Roller's van approaches, Eva and Diabolik are startled by Elena emerging from the van. She suspects Roller's involvement, and aims her gun, managing to wound Diabolik. Eva attempts to distract Elena, allowing Diabolik to incapacitate her. Ultimately, they retrieve the stolen goods, outwitting Ginko. Faced with failure, Ginko realizes his defeat, his aspirations for promotion and proposing to Altea dashed. Despite Altea's indifference to his career, Ginko is left with the bitter taste of defeat, having been outsmarted by Diabolik once again. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.